Welcome back. Well, it was a story that made headlines around the world. Now some major stars are bringing the story to the silver screen. Jim Ferguson tells us more. Good morning, Jim.
Well, good morning. In 2010, the eyes of the world turned to Chile, where 33 miners have been buried alive. Today, our Hollywood happening centers around that story with the movie The 33. Lou Diamond Phillips stars in The 33 as Don Lucho, the supervisor of the mine.
Rescued? Do you hear any drills? That's because they're not drilling for us. We're too far down. It took 100 years for them to dig this deep. How long do you think that's gonna take? Do you think the owners are gonna spend that kind of money? They didn't even finish the ladders!
And congratulations, what a wonderful job in this film. You know,
Thank you.
we mentioned going back in the past a little bit. I remember doing a junket for a movie called Apollo 13.
Right.
And that, like this film, we know the ending, but it's the journey to get there. Would you agree?
100%. I mean, obviously, this event captured the world's imagination and the world's hearts. 1 billion people watched the rescue around the world. And yet, there is something that's a little. We just know the headlines, you know. We don't know the people. We don't know the real story of what went down, you know, below there. And Patricia Riggin and our writers did such an amazing job researching this, not only working with Hector Tobar, the writer, but with the actual miners and getting their insight. And what I'm thrilled about is we had a premiere down in Santiago del Chile. 32 of the 33 miners were there. One was ill. They loved the film.
And they were on the set a lot, too.
They were on the set a lot, and it was an amazing experience. It reminded me a lot of when I made La Bamba. You know, the Valenzuela family was there every day, and you had this intense pressure to get it right. There's this responsibility, because there they are, and you are recreating their lives. And I remember one instance where I asked a miner when we were going into the mine, I said, "What are you thinking?" And he said to me, "You know, if I told you what I was thinking, we'd all be in tears." I found this on level 3.
So?
We put these mirrors in the cracks so we know when the mountain shifts.
She's an old mine. The mountain is going to shift. The mirrors are going to break.
I think we should get a health check on the ramp. We may be looking...
The ramp is a good rock. The mine's got another 20 years left in her.
We may be looking at a weakness in the mountain's internal structure. Marco, it's my job to keep this man safe.
Correction. Your job, Lucho, is to keep this man pulling out 250 tons a day.
You did such a great job. Your character is the supervisor. And I felt that Luis
Ursua, yes.
I was right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Took the blame.
He did.
He knew what was going to happen.
You know, I mean, that's the thing about Don Lucho, which, you know, is what his men called him out of respect. He, I think, became paralyzed with the guilt. He became so self-flagellating because he was truly caught in a terrible situation where he was doing the best that he could to supply safety and to make sure that his men were safe, but at the same time having to answer to upper management. And so when this catastrophe happened, I mean, he blamed no one but himself, not necessarily accurately, by the way.
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was going to say, and the men realized that too. But of all the men down there, the 33, your character, he was the smartest as far as when it came to mining.
Don Lucho had been a miner since he was a teenager, spent his entire life in mines, and he has a great deal of pride in that. And that, you know, in and of itself is one of the reasons why he could not believe that he allowed this to happen. Obviously he didn't, but he took on that, you know, the weight of that responsibility, and you know, I mean, it just ate away at him.
You met him.
I did, and you know, the wonderful thing about Don Lucho, and the funny thing is that I didn't meet him until we were filming for 2 weeks. So I had made some decisions as an actor, you know, in how to portray him. And in meeting him, thank God, I had made the right choices. He struck me as a man of reserve, of quiet dignity, not somebody who is seeking the spotlight. You know, the polar opposite of Mario Sepulveda.
Yeah.
You know, Mario Sepulveda, who was, you know, Super Mario and the cheerleader and, you know, all of that. And Don Lucho just didn't roll that way. He was, you know, much more, you know, reserved.
Yeah.
Let's get ourselves some.
Well, the 33 opens in Tucson next Friday, fitting for Friday the 13th. I'll talk to the star of the film, Antonio Banderas, next week. But opening today, the new James Bond film, Spectre, starring Daniel Craig, the animated comedy The Penis Movie, a historical drama Spotlight starring Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton, and Drew Barrymore's new comedy, Miss You Already. I'm going to see you right here next Tuesday on The Morning Blend.